Hey guys, it's Matt from Poker Hype, and today I've got a deck breakdown of my new Pyroar deck with a couple of things, and this deck is up to date with Primal Clash, however it doesn't gain much. So, as always, the whole point of this deck is to use Pyroar and its ability Intimidating Main, meaning basics can't hit us. Now, in the meta game, most of the attackers in basically every deck, apart from Donphan, are basic. So, yeah, that's easy wins against all them. And obviously, we're going to need some partner Pokemon and some things to help us with bad matchups. Now, with every deck, there'll always be matchups that you just can't win. But we can always try and do something about it. So, we'll start from the beginning and quickly nip through everything. So, here we've got Kangaskhan EX, bit of draw support, decent attack. Well, it's actually pretty terrible. Probably never going to use that, and we're going to use Mega Kangaskhan. So, despite having to end your turn, Mega Kangaskhan is just a really good attacker, and we can afford to end our turn because we can leave Pyroar active. If they can't hit our Pyroar, who cares? We're not taking damage. So, moving on, we have Spiritomb. You can either play Spiritomb or Computer Search or Dowsing Machine in this deck. I've gone for Spiritomb because this deck runs fine without an A-Spec, and Spiritomb helps us against basically some Ruthian Genesect decks. Their only Pyro counter is G-Booster, which they can't play if we have Spiritomb on our bench. So, then we have Forlitleo with 70 HP. That's important to note, because that makes it a lot harder to get knocked out by things like Landorus EX. And obviously we have the Pyros, we have 3 of them, and obviously it's good attack as well that we can live with. Now we do play one of the Pyro from Phantom Forces, because this is ability based Lysander, and it's really good, means we can discard an energy. This combos well with Blacksmith and things that you'll see later. So this is just a really good card, helped us so many times to bring up Pokemon from your opponent's bench and take them out. So then we're going to have Reshiram EX here. Now, we can either have Charizard EX or Reshiram EX. I've gone for Reshiram EX just because I just prefer him. The attacks are pretty much the same, because with a Muscle Band we're hitting up to 170, knocking out almost any EX, and we do play a Hypnotoxic Laser in this deck. So, moving on, we have a Mewtwo EX. Nice, we play 4 DCE in this deck, so we can just drop a double colourless down. Muscle Band hits some nice damage. Go aggro Mewtwo against decks that are able to set up a Pyro counter nice and quick, because we don't want our Pyros getting knocked out. Now, the last Pokemon in the deck is Kyurem. So, this has Outrage for double colourless energy, which this is mainly in here. Works against other things, but it's mainly in here for the Donphan matchup. I can even see playing 2 if Donphan is like, because Donphan is really played, so yeah. So, Outrage, 20 damage plus 10 more for each damage counter on this Pokemon. So the max we can hit for is 140 with a Muscle Band 160. Obviously, Donphan is weak to water, and Donphan cannot hit for 130 damage. So they hit your Kyurem, and then you can Lysander, or use this Pyro from Phantom Forces to bring up their Donphan. It's dead. Now, Enhanced Hammer, we've got the space, so chuck one in, discard a special energy. That can be great. We can get rid of DCEs, we can get rid of strong energies. It's just a really good card just to screw over our opponent. So moving on, Hypnotoxic Laser, good for the odd sleep now and again. That extra 10 damage can help with things like Reshiram, Mewtwo, even Pyro sometimes, so, or sometimes even Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan is a bit risky because of the flipping, but he's got high HP to keep him alive. So, moving on, we have one Professor's Letter, just to get us some energy when we need them, and one Startling Megaphone. At the moment, Garbodor isn't played too much, so it's not too much of a big deal. However, it is still played, and it's just good to discard all your opponent's tools anyway. So if Garbodor starts making a big comeback and played in more decks, then I would definitely consider playing more start than Megaphone. Now we have one switch, just a switching card, gets out the active spot if we're asleep or whatever, got high retreat cost, like Mega Kangaskhan's got 3 retreat cost. I mean, we don't want to be discarding 3 energies when we don't have to. Then 3 Ultra Ball, get all the Pokemon we need out. We can get our Litlios, Pyroars, Kangaskhan's, Kyurem, whatever we need. And then we have 2 VS Seeker, brilliant card, get our supporters back from the discard pile, more Lysander, more Colress, more Juniper, more N, whatever you need at the time. Then we're going to have 3 Blacksmith, attach 2 Fire Energy from your discard pile to one of your Fire Pokemon. So as we'll see probably in the game, and you'll have noticed, this discards energy, our Stadium discards energy, this Pyro discards energy. So we're going to be discarding a lot of energy, but this can get us back. Plus we can discard it with Ultra Ball and then use Blacksmith to get loads of energy attachments. This allows us to set up to 3 energy a turn or 4 with a DCE, meaning we can power up Reshiram in a single turn. Then we have 3 Colress, just draw support obviously, 1 Lysander, only need 1 because we do have the Pyro. However, if we are against Garbodor, or we just don't have him up and running, Lysander is good. Now this deck has a reasonable amount of draw supporters. Pyro is naturally consistent, but we want it to be as consistent as possible. So then we have 3N, just basic supporter that goes in every deck. 4 Juniper, every deck again. A Shauna, just a nice solid 5 cards. Then we have a Xerosic. Now, you'll see in a minute, but this is just really good, like Enhanced Hammer, or we can discard a tool, which means, like, if we're against a Seismitoad EX with Garbodor, we can't play item cards, which means we can't play Megaphone. We can play Xerosic, that supporter, we can discard the tool off Garbodor. And this is also good for discarding things like Manectric Spirit Links, because Mega Manectric, as I've found, and many people who played this deck, Mega Manectric destroys Pyro. But with this, you can discard the Spirit Link, put on something like a Headringer, or even better, it combos really well. Somebody did this to me, really well with Jamming-Net. You discard the Spirit Link, put on Jamming-Net. Then, at that point, Mega Manectric can no longer one-shot your Pyros, and you are in a much better position. So 2 Scorched Earth as our Stadium. Now, this is I believe, the only Primal Clash card in this deck, but boy is it amazing. Being able to draw 2 cards for discarding a Fire Energy, same as Fiery Torch, which we no longer play, and this is mad draw support. And it combos well with Blacksmith, so this makes the deck a lot more consistent. 3 Muscle Band, add the extra damage, meaning if we attack twice with Pyro, we only have to do the extra 30 damage once to knock out a 180 HP Pokemon. And then we have a Headringer, nice just to stop Spirit Links and to make their EXs attack for 1 more. Meaning things like Seismitoad are going to be a lot slower because not only can they not attach a Muscle Band, but they have to attach a 3rd energy. And then we have Jamming-Net, as we said, that combos well with Xerosic and things. So yeah, not much to say about that. It's just generally good. Like, it can mean if you put this on a Seismitoad, not only is the Seismitoad not able to put a Muscle Band on, so they can only do 30 damage, minus 20, the Seismitoad EX doing 10 damage you're fine, it's not a problem. Then finally we just have the energy, 4 double colorless and 9 fire energy. Sometimes 9 runs out really fast, so if you can find the space, add 10. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I'll have some games up with this deck shortly, and like and subscribe. I hope to see you again.